Okay, I decided to film this one just for the hell of it. But I wanted to talk about the right wing perspective on the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. And I think, generally speaking, as much as depending on the views of, and I mean this in the British sense, not necessarily the American sense, but the idea of republicanism, and indeed, anti monarchism, um, was kind of put back on the back burner for a lot of right wing folks, at least as far as I've seen. Because I think, generally speaking, Queen Elizabeth II was very much a hands off person. Of course, they accuse her of the Illuminati and, oh, well, when she wore purple, that represented something, after 9/11 or before 9/11. And she's a lizard person and all this thing. Like I said, a lot of that, at least from what I've seen, really wasn't out there. Now, of course, we saw a lot of lefties come out and, of course, say, "Oh, she's evil" and whatnot. We see a bit of damage control. I just heard this from NPR earlier today, but apparently some of the, I believe it was good old Prince William, went to Jamaica, and they basically try to do a little bit of PR because basically they're like, we don't want to be ruled by the crown anymore, this and that sort of thing. I didn't know that Jamaica was still part of anyway, but and of course all the anti-imperialists want to come out, and I can call myself that sometimes. It just depends on what day of the week, but I think at the end of the day it's like Queen Elizabeth II. Really just, like I say, she observed an empire that was, and I'm going to take this from the War Report here in GSP, saying that it was transactional. And it really was. By that point, by the time she became queen, the empire was already gone. You know. And, we see, of course, now the effects of basically the parliament, and now we see Liz Truss and all these other folks of the UK, and you say to yourself, my goodness, I don't think King Charles III is going to do that much great stuff, to be honest with you, but whatever. And, in general, yeah, you had right-wingers to a point being very respectful, and of course, lefties, of course, had to come out and say, oh, but my imperialism, oh, the British Empire, I don't care about the Queen dying, and it's all edgy stuff. And of course, the edginess, when you actually went to Edinburgh, and I believe that's the proper way to pronounce it, Edinburgh, and, had that one guy who was heckling, some nerdy-looking teenage kid, and he's got the English flag, with the St. George's Cross. No, I'm sorry. Woo! But basically the red cross on the white flag. And we saw a little mini version of that, but he's out there, and we see footage of it later on. It's like, the crowd's, pushing him back, get off, get fucked and all that. Then get fucked, and all that. I know that's more of a northern. That's not necessarily but that's all I can do. But we saw the Bobbies carry him off. He's got the bloody nose and all that. My anti-imperialism and all this sort of thing. It's like the UK is already in a bad position. It's just like, it's just a cheap way to grift and a cheap way to try to, to fan the flames, basically. That's all it is. Because it's like the UK really doesn't have that much strength. It's like, they don't. What sort of empire do they have? I mean, we can go on and on about Brexit or what Brexit actually means, or I'm just gonna say, it's like, come on. What do you complain about? It's because it's not your people there. That's the whole thing. You'd rather just call them coons and everything else. I mean, I imagine that's what they would call them. You got the black dude, of course, who apparently Liz Truss banged as well. I mean, anyway. But it's just like, the UK is just It's not the same UK it was back in, 19, 30, whatever you want to say, or, yeah. It's like, in reality, that empire really wasn't what it used to be. I mean, even then. But, I'm just going to end it with this, and just say, overall, you can say, yeah, she was who she was, or maybe she was nasty or whatever, but at the end of the day, she reigned over, a smaller empire, and basically just tried to keep low-key, low profile, and look at what her grandchildren have done with that, and of course, what has her son done? That's more important. What has her son done, with all the Camilla stuff and all that other nonsense? It's just rubbish. But anyway, that's all I really have to say on it. My own personal views are just kind of like, I don't really see the point in hating it, or trying to be some anti-imperialist type and just, be against monarchy or something like that, and be an edgy bro. And just be like, yeah, we should, it should be like the Tsar, we went in and just shot everybody, and just, it's just edgy for the sake of being edgy, and it's just like, the times have changed. This isn't, the 1950s anymore, but yeah. Anyway, that's all I got. See you later. Goodbye.